Hello and a very warm welcome. I'm Barkha Dutt and I'm live at this moment in Coimbatore. We started our journey with the Dhavas of Democracy in Kanyakumari. We made our way to Trivandrum, Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala, and now here we are in Tamil Nadu again on the ground in Coimbatore. In case you're wondering about this is the cherry on the cake for me today. When we came to Coimbatore, I went straight to a very famous flower market. It's called the Poo Market here, and I met some lovely women. And not just did I buy a lot of flowers, I also got their affection. They offered to braid my hair, and so here I am, and just loving every moment of being on the ground. But now on to politics. This is a special election series, and let's take a look today on the program at who is going to win Tamil Nadu. That's what is in our focus on the program today. We're looking at the Prime Minister's Mission South. Remember, the Prime Minister has personally invested a whole lot of political capital in the state of Tamil Nadu, in the state of Kerala. And right now, the BJP's most talked about leader is its Tamil Nadu state president, Mr. K. Annamalai. We have an exclusive interview with him that we'll be releasing in full on our platform. You can catch that later. But we also have an ABPC voter survey to discuss. Our favorite psephologist, Yashwant Deshmukh, will be with us in a few moments from now to talk about who's winning Tamil Nadu according to the ABPC voter survey, and we'll end the program with the ABPC voter survey's national projections on who is winning India. So without further ado, let me introduce our guest, Yashwant Deshmukh, today, who's joining us there live. He's a very busy man, a much wanted man. He's almost as much in demand, if not more, than Mr. Annamalai is here on the ground. He's been going from one TV studio to the other with all his survey findings. So we thank him especially for making time for the Mojo story. And Yashwant, with Mission, I'm going to do something very interesting. You have your survey, but I also did ask Mr. K. Annamalai, how would he define success for the BJP in a state like Tamil Nadu, where it's literally starting from ground up, right? He's not making any big claims of winning the state, but I wanted to know from him a number. What is that number, either in vote share or seats, that he would call a success? Here's an excerpt from my interview with him. Listen in.
What will be a successful result for you? One is, of course, your own seat, but you're also the leader of the Tamil Nadu BJP. You now have a national and an international profile. What result will satisfy you and you will consider it a success?
For me, BJP has to cross 20% alone, and we have to reach somewhere near 25%. That is a test for us as a party. The NDA has to cross 35%. And a lot of people outside will say, oh, party was here, now suddenly big number. Yeah. And of course, our goals are slightly big. We are audacious. We are working hard. And that will satisfy us because that is a step one in 2024. The step two is 2026 for the state party elections. Now, this is a bare minimum that I expect that BJP will get in Tamil Nadu. With respect to seats, we have kept an internal target of 25 for the NDA alliance. But in a very tight three-cornered contest across Tamil Nadu, where BJP is emerging as a formidable force. And you never know how the seats are going to swing here and there. But I believe that we should reach that number, anyway close to that number.
You've given a very, very honest answer. Most political people, typical politicians would have by now said, oh, we are going to defeat the DMK. Oh, we are going to get so many seats. You didn't do that.
When you get 35%, you are going to defeat the DMK, madam. It is implied.
So, Annamalai's successful benchmark is 20% vote share for the BJP and an internal target of 25 seats for the NDA, but his emphasis was on 20% vote share for the BJP. So now on this cue, I'm going to bring up the slide of the ABPC vote share projection in Tamil Nadu, which does, of course, project a complete DMK Congress alliance domination. But look at that vote share projection. I'll start with the BJP and its allies. 19%, just 1% off from Annamalai's own calculation. Yashwant, what do you make of it?
Well, I think he is a very pragmatic person, and he is taking his targets in a very scientific way. That's what I understand from your interview with him. Because, I drew a lot many big bets from BJP supporters last night that, oh, you are giving 39-0 to the DMK plus, and you are not counting in that he is going to win Coimbatore. And I'm like, you know what, in our tracker, he is giving a tough fight to DMK in Coimbatore. Yes, he is doing that. Not just Coimbatore, actually, Barkha, in NDA, they are running neck and neck in Kanyakumari. They are giving a hell of a fight in Theni, in Dharmapuri, and for that matter, OPS is giving hell of a fight in Ramanathapuram. So 5 seats, I am marking that as 5 seats that, okay, I need to watch out them for. But till the point of time a coin is flipped, I cannot say it is flipped. So in our tracker, I need to see that it is flipped. Then only I can say that it is flipped. So yes, I guess that 5 years back, if you look into the vote share of the present composition of the NDA, they were hardly about 10%. From 10%, making it double to almost about 20%, it's a great journey for Mr. Annamalai and his party. And it's always important for any organization to grow when, particularly if they get a good face. So BJP in Tamil Nadu actually went back to the zero thing after the death of Rangarajan Kumar Mangalam, because late in the 90s, when DMK was part of the NDA, I had seen the campaign after 1999 Lok Sabha elections, when the assembly elections happened in Tamil Nadu, and DMK was actually utilizing Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's popularity in the posters across Tamil Nadu, particularly in Chennai, to ask the votes for them. So it's a work in progress, and the contest, as I see in Tamil Nadu, is not DMK versus the rest. The real contest of Tamil Nadu is BJP versus AIADMK. There is no contest of DMK. It's a contest of BJP versus AI. Similarly, in Punjab, I'm giving an example so that our audience can understand where my line of thought is analysis coming from. The contest is not the four-cornered Roosevelt. The contest in Punjab is if the BJP can come out as a bigger player than Akali Dal, that they are no more the junior partners. So the contest in Tamil Nadu is about whether NDA, the BJP, can tell AIADMK, we are not a junior partner anymore. If you want to deal with us for any future elections, then you have to treat us as an elder, or at least on equal foot. If not, you continue your journey, we will continue our own journey, because we have the patience to take it to the longer fight. That's what the BJP's thought process is, and that's what the numbers are also showing you on the screen.
So Yashwant, when we look at how these vote shares translate into seats, it's 39-0, of course, in your survey. But I asked Mr. Annamalai whether he regrets that the fact that the alliance with the AIDMK did not work out. And if we can briefly bring up the slides of the results from 2019 and actually look at that slide. But he didn't seem to regret it at all. He said that the AIDMK may pick up vote share, but their seat conversion is quite poor. They have come to see the BJP almost as a competitor. That in the case of the DMK Congress alliance, the Congress identity has been swallowed by the DMK. And what he wants to do, he said, step one is 2024, but our real goal is 2026, the assembly elections. And he said, we are going to build from the ground upwards. We want 20% vote share right now. That is our goal. NDA to cross maybe a little more than that, 20% alone for the BJP. And he didn't regret not having an alliance with the AIDMK. But let's take a look back at the results. The AIDMK and the BJP together had 22.2% of the vote share. You are forecasting 19% for the BJP alone. So they don't seem to have lost out too much. I don't know. But had they been together, what would this election have looked like?
I think if they would have been together, the contest would have been much more keener, probably, because then we would have been seeing roughly about 45% for the alliance partners, and then 50% plus for the DMK plus. But having said that, that's not what they want to achieve from this election. I think what BJP is trying to do in Tamil Nadu is altogether different from their national goal. Tamil Nadu is somehow they are treating as a different ball game, different territory. Tamil Nadu and Punjab are not the states, Barkha, which were in their game plan in 14 and 19. So BJP knows we can win and form the government without Tamil Nadu and Punjab numbers. So why not take a long-term approach and build something which will be delivered in 5 to 10 years for them, rather than every time sacrificing yourself for the alliance partners. So the confidence of the BJP to do these experiments come from the fact that Tamil BJP formed the government in 14 and in 19, in spite and despite of these two states not voting for the BJP. So for their own calculation, even with 39-0 or the Punjab getting wiped out, actually they are not dependent on these seats. So that's why that gives them more courage to experiment and branch out on their own and lay out a foundation which can be useful for them for the elections in the future.
Now, let me ask you this. The Prime Minister has made 10 trips to Tamil Nadu in the last few months, 7 to Kerala. If these are the results, now Annamalai was very clear. He said 20% vote share, we will consider ourselves as, well, step one being done. But the opposition will say, and I know at the end of the program we'll come to the All India projections, the opposition will say, see, the South remains different from the North. You don't see it like that. I look at the BJP and what the BJP is doing in states like Tamil Nadu, similar to what is done in Bengal. You grow the roots, you first become the primary challenger, you first become the primary opposition, and then you come to something else. But imagine if the results are close to what you forecast. Will you say the BJP's Mission South has worked or not worked, Yashwant?
No, it's absolutely worth, Barkha, because BJP's Mission South, they are working on a 5 to 10 year game plan, number one. Number two, yes, the vote share of 20% is critical for them to breach, but they are more bullish on Tamil Nadu for a reason, because they have cracked on the right face to go ahead with that. Now, look into the fact that the BJP has actually touched or breached 20% vote share in Kerala multiple times in Lok Sabha election. But why they could not build up on that was the reason that they never had a face to capitalize on it and take it further. That's why Kerala remains a work in progress for the BJP. They might very well touch 20% plus even in Kerala this election. But unless they crack down a face, which is like an as aggressive as Annamalai, who can take the BJP on its own from 20 to 30%. Now, what's the bite again? When you asked Annamalai on these targets, he is setting a target of 30% because he knows unless he breaches 30%, that seat share is not going to convert to him. So it's a two-phase process for him, the way I understand from your interview. Number one, cross 20%, and then in the assembly election, take a target of 30%, and then convert where BJP was in West Bengal in the last assembly election. From 3 seats to 77%, they became the default opposition. So can he convert BJP? Can he take BJP from where it is right now to the default opposition status by the time next assembly elections happen in Tamil Nadu? That's the real game. And why it is more workable for them? Because they got a face to crack it. What it is still not workable for the BJP in say, for example, in Kerala, that they haven't been able to crack a face for it. A youthful, young enough face who can take the BJP for the next 10 to 15 years in a complete, aggressive mode of leadership.
That's such an important point you've made, because here in Coimbatore, when I was talking to people, I met people who said they're going to vote for DMK in Coimbatore, but really like Annamalai. And they said, we want this young face. He's upcoming. We like him. Maybe it's a tough fight. Maybe DMK will take the seat, but there's a lot of promise in Annamalai. So this face is working, and I personally saw, I was following him on the campaign trail, and people were hysterical. They were looking to get almost like a piece of him. They were climbing onto his van, giving him letters of grievances, giving him gifts. So he's really, I really do think he's a serious leader of the future. I want to play of the present as well, but also especially of the future for the BJP's long term. I want to play out one other excerpt of my interview with him, Yashwant. And here is where I put to him the opposition's criticism that a kind of cultural homogeneity, a one nation, one poll, a Hindi is being pushed in the southern states. And there's a pushback against that. And it's very interesting to hear what he said about that. And I'll come back to you right after that. Listen in.
Opposition says that there is a homogeneity that the BJP is forcing. The southern states don't like that. Federalism is a very strong part of our country. Language is being, there is a Hindi push. There is a homogeneous idea of religion. There is delimitation that is staring this part of the country in the face. There's now talk of one nation, one poll. Do you feel Do you feel, as someone, son of the soil from here, that there is a danger of too much centralization and there could be a pushback? And I ask you this because, unlike so many other politicians, you have been a government servant, you have been a police officer, an IPS officer, so you understand some of these things even better than politicians. How do you respond to the criticism of too much centralization, too much cultural homogeneity?
I'll take a little bit of time
Yes,
to explain,
please.
madam. Of course, we all have a very distinct identity, and Honorable PM respects it because he comes from himself a Gujarat, a state that speaks a Gujarati language, and he is the Prime Minister of our country now. Now, it's very funny when Congress says this because the whole problem was created by Congress in 1965 by making Hindi, pushing it aggressively. A lot of people from DMK lost their lives, the people who were owing their allegiance to the Dravidar Kalagam. And now, shamelessly, they both are an alliance and criticizing BJP now. And BJP, I am a BJP Karyakarta.
Yeah.
And I speak to Honorable PM in English with my broken Hindi, whatever is possible. And PM sir responds to me in English. I speak to Honorable HM sir in English. HM sir responds to me in English. I speak to Nadaji in English. He responds to me in English. So they know that what language I am comfortable, they respond in that language. And I'm just telling you, as a Karyakarta to a party leader, that's how we behave inside the party. National conventions happen, I speak in Tamil. And last time the PM was very clear. He called Bandi Sanjay Garu from Telangana. He said, you should speak in 5 minutes in Telugu. Nirmala Sitharaman madam, PM said, you should speak in Kannada, you should speak in Telugu, you should speak in Tamil. And unfortunately or fortunately, for us, we are very clear who we are as a party. And Congress still thinks it is 1970 era where they can simply create the small issues, and DMK still believes 1960 era, make Hindi versus non-Hindi. It is non-issue, madam. It is non-issue now.
So interesting. One, he speaks to PM in English or broken Hindi. PM and Amit Shah communicate in the same way. It's a non-issue. It's the Congress that he reminds us historically that pushed Hindi and led to that rupture with the DMK in the 1960s. How do you read his comments? He seems to have a very clear-headed understanding of where to go from here, Yashwant.
What I love about this character is his clarity of thought, Barkha. That I've never met him. I've only heard from the interviews that he did, but you have personally now met him and probably you would be a better judge of that. But I have liked with the clarity of thought that he carries along with it. His words are very precise. He knows what he is saying. And he is right when he says that somehow DMK and the Congress are still struck in the 70s and the 60s in terms of understanding where the new voter, young voter is going about it. And I can tell you with the, with a little bit of amusement that suppose, hypothetically, if Mr. Stalin would have been chosen as the prime ministerial face of India Alliance, by now, Barkha, we would have been watching Mr. Stalin using a teleprompter and try to address a rally in Balia speaking Bhojpuri. Forget about Hindi. It's all about politics. If Mr. Stalin is given a chance to that, okay, you will become a prime minister, but for the next 22 hours, you have to speak in Hindi. He would be doing everything to ascertain that he speaks whatever form of Hindi that he can. And similarly, I can tell you that if Mamta Didi is given a chance that, okay, you are the prime ministerial candidate and you have to campaign in Tamil, she would do that no matter how she would have tried. But the thing is that what a serious point which I'm trying to make is that when Mr. H.D. Devagowda became the prime minister, he with all sincerity was taking Hindi lessons. Because when you are doing that politics, you have to do the politics in the local language because politics is local. And Mr. Annamalai made a very, very important point that Hindi is not the language of Mr. Narendra Modi. His mother tongue is Gujarati. So all said and done, I think in our data, we have tried to capture this multiple times in the young generation, in the generation which is voting and it's important for them. Hindi versus Tamil is never the issue. It is an issue of the past, issue of the 60s, issue of the 60s. And if somebody says that upfront, I think he or she will carry the traction of the younger voters in Tamil Nadu. And another, by the way, when I mentioned the younger voters, I think I genuinely believe that one of the key things that Mr. Annamalai represents, that he was a self-made man. He cracked the examination, became an officer, and he is a young guy with no legacy of the family whatsoever. So yes, when I compare him to, say, for example, Udaynidhi Stalin, I believe 10 years down the lane, Mr. Udaynidhi Stalin will have trouble facing him one on one, if at all his growth plan continues in the direction. But it's a work in progress. Having said that, it's a work in progress. It's not gonna convert into votes and the seats immediately in the next immediate future. Right now, the target that he is trying to achieve is 20%. I believe that it is a practically manageable target for NDA in this process right now. 30% or 20%, 25% the next election depends on how they tackle whatever they are getting right now in the war of narrative that they are the default opposition, the way they were dealing in West Bengal with Shubhendu Adhikari in the front. Can they do the same thing with Annamalai in the front? That is something which is a work in progress. But he is level headed. That's what I feel from the interaction which you have shown so far.
Absolutely level headed. And in fact, I asked him, use one word to describe yourself. And he said, straightforward. He said that's the word I'd use to describe myself. So that full interview is a very interesting interview. Now, Yashwant, I know you're in a hurry, so we're going to switch in a moment to All India. But one of the findings of your survey, if Tamil Nadu goes according to what you predict, is that the DMK will then be possibly the third largest party in the Lok Sabha. Now that gives it a kind of clout.
Well, that's very much possible.
Yeah,
Reason being, you remember 1984 election when BJP famously reduced to 2 seats, even though
yeah,
it was the second largest party in terms of vote share after Congress.
yeah.
They were runner-up in 96 seats, but they could manage to win only 2 seats, and Telugu Desam was practically the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha. So these things actually matter. Congress is still the second largest party, so the third largest party tag will come down to either Mamta Banerjee or Mr. Stalin, whichever way you look at it. It is pretty much possible for both these parties to become the third largest party in the parliament. It is practically possible.
Okay, now as we end, the opposition has been counting on the fortress in the southern states to hold and to stop the NDA and the Prime Minister's call for Abki Bar 400 Par. ABP Sea Voter has the final poll survey before the elections, and I want to bring up that slide. And what's very interesting is, can we please have that slide up now? What's very interesting is, from the last time we spoke, you have shown actually an improvement for the BJP, and this is what the All India picture actually looks like. You are projecting 323 seats for the BJP and 373 for the NDA, just short just short of the 400 par mark. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? This is notwithstanding the DMK Dravidian fortress, according to you, holding strong in Tamil Nadu, where I am right now.
Well, Barkha, last time when we spoke, this target or this thing was roughly about 350 plus. There is a 20 plus seats change in that tally, and that change is largely on account of TDP joining the NDA. Because till that point of time, the entire 25 seat spectrum of Andhra Pradesh was untouchable to the BJP. With TDP joining in, all of a sudden those 25 seats opened up, and for BJP 5 seats, but for the NDA 25 seats in that way. So that is one big thing. Another big change between our last time we spoke after MOTN happened on India Today and this one on the ABP is the change in some of the state, for example, in Maharashtra, where BJP is now having a distinctive advantage by virtue of contesting more seats over there. If they were contesting the limited number of seats like they are doing in Bihar, where JDU is facing problem, but BJP is not, Maharashtra is adding to that tally, and one more important state of Odisha, where in the Lok Sabha voting intention for the first time, I am watching BJP taking a lead over the BJD. So in the assembly election, the BJD is still taking the lead. For the Lok Sabha election, the BJP vote share now is more than the BJD in the tracker, and that is adding about 4-5 more seats to the BJP. So all in all, that 25 to 30 seats addition to the NDA tally is by virtue of largely TDP joining the BJP NDA and BJP's fortunes going upwards in Maharashtra and in Odisha.
Now, of course, we'll get you statewide as we travel through India, but very quickly on the fate and fortunes of the Congress party. Marginal increase in seats, the India bloc clocking 155. Any X factors that you'd still look out for, given this survey?
Well, India, I mean, Congress tally is going up by 15 or 16 seats from the 2019 tally, largely because of the seats they are winning in Telangana and in Karnataka. Their biggest jump is coming from these two states. Rest of the India is more or less static for them, and their vote share is static. So, unless the Congress vote share, goes beyond 20%, just the way you are looking at Annamalai right now, BJP's individual vote share is 40% plus at this point of time. Now look at the gap; it's almost double than the Congress. While everybody who has been asking me this question, can 2004 be repeated? Well, the baseline Barkha for 2004 was 2019 when Atalji became Prime Minister. And even at that point of time, BJP vote share individually was 24 and Congress vote share was 28. So Congress was leading by 4 points to the BJP, even in the worst of their times. But right now, we are looking at 40 and 20% plus gap between the BJP. So that baselines have changed. So 2004 is unlikely to be repeated. Yes, the seats number, that is something which may go up and down depending on the turnout, Barkha. And the thing which is problematic for the BJP is non-political. It's the turnout by worrying about the heat wave. Because day before yesterday,
Heat wave, and long weekends. Heat wave
and
and
the long
long
weekend.
weekends.
Exactly. So we know for sure that in 2004, the turnout in urban India dropped by 18 percentage, for multiple reasons. And that was the biggest game changer because BJP led in majority of the rural seat, but they lost majority of the urban India in 2004. And day before yesterday, I was looking at a brilliant piece of data journalism in Hindustan Times. They had taken in the meteorological projections for all India and they mapped on the 543 Lok Sabha seats. And they successfully did so in 450 odd seats to see what would be the temperature like on the polling day in those seats. And more than half of the seats were having 40-degree plus temperature, some of them 45-degree temperature. And majority of those seats in that block, they were from the BJP side, the belt. So my worry on that thing is the tracker and the surveys that we run, we are asking Barkha when she is in her home or somebody else when they are sitting in their work or home. But actually, those who are saying the way they will vote will go out to vote or not because of the heat wave and the long weekends that you just mentioned, that big number of people make travel plans and holiday plans whenever the long weekend comes by. That is a clear and present danger to all kind of calculation whatsoever. And it's not just for the BJP, it's also for the opposition, may I remind you, because it's both ways. If a relative turnout goes for a toss, then it will impact both of them. We don't know whichever way they are going to impact. It depends on that particular voting day, the kind of heat wave they are facing, the kind of weekends they are getting. So now onward, keep a keen eye on the turnout numbers. If the numbers go down, then it's a problem for more than one reason for both the alliances, both the sides of the spectrum in politics.
How fascinating. That's why they say it isn't over till it's over, and it's only just beginning officially. On the 19th, Yashwant, thank you. We're going to have you back many times as we travel through India, but we're going to let you go now. Yashwant Deshmukh is the polling world's most wanted man at this moment, and we've snatched him between his many appearances on multiple television channels. It's always a pleasure, Yashwant. Take care
Always a
and see you
pleasure,
soon.
Barkha.
Take care and see
You
you
have
soon.
safe travels all across. All the best. I'm looking forward to that entire series of Dhabas of Democracy. Amazing concept. You are at your best right now. What you do as a reporting, the
Thank
reporter
you.
Barkha, I have always loved more than any other anchor, Barkha. So do your best. I mean, I will be following up. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That makes my day. Thank you so much. And Yashwant Deshmukh just spoke about, the reporter Barkha. The reporter Barkha also loves reporting more than anything else, which is why I'm always smiling much more when I'm on the ground, despite the heat and the tension and sometimes the network going and things not working and things not, sometimes getting done in time. It's tense, but it's the most exciting, exhilarating thing to travel through your own country and meet people. You can see in the distance there our vehicle, which is taking us across India, our team, our cameraman Anoop, our driver Vinod, and we, three of us are traveling from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, and we'll be traveling through your constituency, through your city, telling the stories of you, the people, we, the people. So do write in with your ideas and also with food recommendations, because isn't it all about the flavors of democracy? Thank you for watching. Take care.
Namaskar and hello everyone. Welcome to a ride through the heart and the soul of India. क्योंकि जब इलेक्शन सीजन आता है तो कौन जीता, कौन हारा, कौन आगे, कौन पीछे, ये बातचीत तो होती ही रहती है. But it's also a time for travel and meeting people and getting to know your own country better. So, welcome to the Dhabas of Democracy, where every bite tells a story, where every conversation will spice up your day. Experience the masala, the flavor, the swad of this election with us as we take a unique road trip from the south to the north of India, traveling thousands of kilometers to bring you the flavor of this election.
इलेक्शन सर पर है, वोटर अपना मन बना रहे हैं. ऐसे में आपको चाहिए सही फैक्ट, सही ज्ञान, सही नॉलेज. इसी कड़ी में मोजो स्टोरी लेकर आ रहा है एक खास कार्यक्रम, बैलेट की बात. मैं हूं पॉलिटिकल रिसर्चर कार्तिकेय बत्रा और मैं चाहता हूं आपके दिन के केवल 2 मिनट. कैंडिडेट्स, पार्टीज, अलायंसेस, इश्यूज, इन सब पर होगी बात. और होगा रोज आपका एक छोटा सा पॉलिटिकल टेस्ट. स्पेशल प्राइजेस फॉर दोज हु आर द बेस्ट. तो बैलेट की बात, कट द नॉइज, सिर्फ सच और फैक्ट की वर्ड.